Hello, everyone. And from that clickety clack sound, it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 32, season 2. Today's date is February 26, 2023, and welcome to the show. So here is today's lineup. From the 1950s, I will talk about the television sitcom Beulah. From the 1960s, the TV anthology series The Barbara Stanwyck Show. From the 1970s would be the animated series Dr. Dolittle, based on the movie. From the 1980s would be the TV sitcom Bosom Buddies. From the 1990s would be the TV crime drama The New Adam-12. From the 2000s would be the TV sitcom Cursed. And from the 2010s would be the TV crime drama Chase. Okay, so this will be fun. I will get started, but before I do that, the program will go into a commercial break. Excuse me. And this program is brought to you by Clackers Graham cereal. So it's like graham crackers cereal, that is. So here's a commercial from 1968, and when I come back, I will explain about this cereal. So sit back and enjoy, and I will return. Thank you, everyone.
Good grief, Dad! You've hooked a man-eating...
Clackers. Clackers, the surprising new cereal that tastes like graham crackers.
Ra-da-da. I, Luigi, the pizza expert, will now create the perfect...
Clackers. Clackers, the surprising new cereal that tastes like graham crackers. Right, it's the new Big G cereal with the surprising new flavor. Clackers taste like graham crackers. Get clacking with Clackers.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Clackers Graham cereal. I'll give you a bit of a history of this cereal. It was introduced by the General Mills Corporation in 1968, and it was like a wheat-based cereal, and it tastes like graham crackers, and it was shaped like a gear with a hole in the center. I never had this cereal when I was growing up. I had Kaboom. Do you remember? If anyone remembers that, with the clown. So I wish I had that because I love graham crackers. It's delicious, and it was not successful. Also had great, but it did have great prizes in the cereals. Like, for example, they had the wacky packages, not wacky packages, excuse me, wacky races, the cars like that featured Dastardly and Muttley and Dan Hill Mob and Penelope Pit Stop. And let's see what else they had. They had something with Bozo on it, 3D glasses or anything like that. And it was kind of cool. And it had a glider, a little glider like that. So if you had these are collector's items. So if you collect I believe if you collect all the cars from Wacky Races, that'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of nice. And then the cereal ended in 1973, and then others were introduced later on. Like, for example, there was Graham Crackers. I think that's from, I don't know, maybe the 70s or 80s. And also what we have now is Golden Grahams from all the same. Well, Graham Crackers is from Kellogg's. Just want to rectify that. Golden Grahams is from the same company, General Mills. I love this cereal. I really do. I don't get it often, but it's tasty. I love it. I really do. But I eat Honey Nut Cheerios for health reasons. Okay. So at the beginning of the program, I explained the lineup for today's episode. So let's get started. First show coming up, I will discuss Beulah, the television sitcom. Oh, this one's totally forgotten went into TV oblivion, and rarely syndicated. That's the motto of our show. Okay, so here we go. This was a sitcom that was first heard on the radio, and then it moved over to television, and it premiered on CBS Radio, and it ran from 1945 to 1954. And then it premiered on ABC from 1950. And let's see, I don't know the exact date. Oh, yeah, I got the date. It premiered on October 3rd, 1950, and ran through September 22nd, 1953. It ran for 3 years on ABC, of course, black and white. And it was one of the earliest sitcoms that featured a domestic, like, for example, a maid or a butler. This is pre-Hazel, like that. So let me give you a brief history about the radio program. Beulah, her name was Beulah Brown, and she first appeared in 1939 on the radio. It was called the radio show was called Hometown Incorporated. And also in 1940 on another radio show, the Showboat series. And then it moved to another radio program called That's Life, and then it became a supporting character on one of the most popular radio series, Fibber, McGee, and Molly, in 1944. And I've heard Beulah on Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Oh, she was excellent. It was funny. Well, she's not a she. I'll get to that. And then she got a spinoff. And it was called the Marlin, Hurt, and Beulah Show. Well, Marlin Hurt was not a woman. He was a man, and he was not African American. He was white, and he did the voice of Beulah. And Beulah was employed as a housekeeper, as a maid, and for the Henderson family. And the characters were Harry was the father, mother was Alice, and the son was Donnie. And let's see, he did the character for about a year, and then actor Marlin Hurt, he died of a heart attack in 1946, and he was replaced by another actor, a white actor, and his name was Bob Corley. And then it was retitled to the Beulah Show. And let's see. So the first person that, the one that played, and then after that, they cast an African-American actress, and it was Hattie McDaniel, which is, she's best known as Mammy from Gone with the Wind. Oh, wonderful lady. And she continued the role until 5 years later, she became ill. I heard she had breast cancer, and she was replaced by Lillian Randolph. And you remember her from Birdie, from It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's Birdie, that's her name. I forgot. I've seen the movie so many times I forgot her name, or character's name. But she was also on The Great Gildersleeve, and she was great in that. And then she was replaced by the last year by her sister, Amanda Randolph. Okay, yeah, and the radio show ended in 1954. Now for the television series on ABC which ran in 3 seasons, it was not those actresses, but first it was Ethel Waters. And she's a very famous Broadway actress, and she appeared in movies and television. But she quit in the first year. Also, and then Hattie McDaniel took over the role. She did, but that was in 1950. And then she left, so she did the radio show and the TV show as well. And then, like I said previously, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She left, and she only filmed about 6 shows. That's it. And then she was replaced by Louise Beavers again. And let's see what else. Oh, and let's see. Well, Louise Beavers was another actress. There's a lot of Beavers sisters there, like that. So let's see, and then also in the cast was Butterfly McQueen, McDaniel's cast. She was on Gone with the Wind. She starred as Oriole for the first season, and then they cast Ruby Dandridge, and she did the voice of she replaced Butterfly McQueen, and because when the other cast members of the Henderson family they were portrayed by different actors, so it was a mess, and also very confusing. Also on the let's see who else was in there. There was an African American actor named Percy Bud Harris. He only appeared in the first season, and then he was succeeded by Dooley Wilson. You remember him, the pianist from Casablanca? Oh, wonderful man. And also there was another actor called Ernest Whitman. He did that. And this show ran for 87 episodes. There are some on YouTube if you care to watch, if you'd like. And this was like at the time, like Amos and Andy. Amos and Andy was a very popular show on the radio. And then it came to television, and then there was controversy. They both ran for about a couple seasons, like that, maybe 2 or 3, like that. And it's. If I don't think they would make a program today like that. No way. No. Beulah will not survive. But I've watched a few episodes with Ethel, a couple with Ethel Waters. She's wonderful. She's a talented actress indeed. Oh, that's great. And you can find a couple with Hattie McDaniel, which is great. She's wonderful like that. So right now I'm going to play the introduction of Beulah with Ethel Waters. With this is the opening with sponsors of detergent with Dreft and Oxidol. Okay, so sit back and relax, and I'll talk a little bit about Ethel Waters. Okay, thank you, everyone.
The Beulah Show. Brought to you by self-washing Dreft for dishes and fine washables, and deep cleaning Oxidol for the family wash. Starring Ethel Waters as
Beulah. They say everything comes to them that wait, but there's only one thing I ever got from waiting. More waiting.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of Beulah. Before I get started to talk about Ethel Waters, I will talk about the cast of the Hendersons. I neglected to do that. In season 1, we had Harry Henderson was portrayed by William Post Jr. Alice Henderson was Ginger Jones, and Donnie Henderson that was portrayed by Clifford Sales. Okay. And in season 2, they were replaced, and also season 3, that is, I'm sorry, like that. And it was Harry Henderson. Was he the same character? Yeah. Harry Henderson was portrayed by David Bruce. Jane Frazee was Alice Henderson. She was a famous singer and dancer. She was mentioned on The Honeymooners. Also, Donnie Henderson was portrayed by Stuffy Singer. His name was Simon, and he was a champion handball player. Oh, that's very interesting indeed. And like I said before, they both were cast for season 2 and season 3. Okay, that's good. All right, and then so Ethel Waters was a very famous singer and actress. She was born on October 31st, 1896, and in Chester, Pennsylvania, and she was a singer. She toured the black vaudeville circuit. They couldn't perform together with white performers. That's a shame, like that. And then she started appearing in movies. And let's see. She had her own. She had her own variety special, the Ethel Waters Show, and that appeared on one of the early shows, like that. So of early television, like that in 1939. So that was interesting, like that. And I remember her from an episode of Route 66, and I had that on DVD, and she was excellent in that. Oh, wonderful. And the songs that she sang was Am I Blue or Stormy Weather or Dinah. She did that, yeah. And Down Home Blues, like that. I Found My New Baby and Sugar. She performed that. And all kinds of that. All kinds of songs she performed. That's amazing, like that. Let's see. Other films she appeared, The Tales of Manhattan, Cabin in the Sky. She also appeared in Stage Door Canteen. Also, she was in a famous movie called Pinky. And let's see, also in The Member of the Wedding in 1952. And she was also in The Sound and the Fury. She appeared in that. And she was also... She appeared in variety shows, like, for example, the Jackie Gleason Show, Texaco Star Theater, the Chesterfield Supper Club. Also she was a mystery guest on What's My Line. And the last television appearance, one of her last television appearances was in the TV series Daniel Boone. She was in that. And so she passed away on September 1st, 1977, and she was at the age of 80. Oh, very talented lady indeed. Okay. So next up, we have from the 1960s, the TV anthology series, The Barbara Stanwyck Show. I don't remember the show. This premiered before I was born, so let's talk about the history of this. So this premiered on September 19th, 1960, ended September 11th, 1961, ran for one season, 36 episodes. It was a half an hour show. Oh, that's unusual. Most anthology shows ran about half an hour, but not this one. And it starred actress Barbara Stanwyck. And she served as the hostess of the show and acted as well, except about 4 or 5 she did not star. The 4 episodes were actually pilots, but they were not picked up. And she did win an Emmy Award in 1961 for Best Actress. She was excellent like that. And it was produced by the Desilu Studios, of course, Lucy and Desi. And it was sponsored by the American Gas Association. I will play the introduction. You will hear that. But it had a lot of full cast of actors and actresses. Oh, and talented people. Talented indeed. I'll read a few. Like, for example, there was Dana Andrews, Ralph Bellamy, Milton Berle, Joan Blondell, Edgar Buchanan, Joseph Cotton was in there, Yvonne Craig, TV's Batgirl, one of her early roles, Robert Culp, Andy Devine, Buddy Ebsen, Peter Falk, also starred in that, Dennis Hopper from Easy Rider, Robert Horton, Julie London, let's see, Lee Marvin was in it, Vic Morrow was in there, excuse me, and Jack Nicholson. he appeared on in an episode, of course. And let's see, Marion Ross from Happy Days, she appeared on that. So there was that's pretty good. And the show is on DVD and in 2 volumes. I don't know if all the episodes are there. I'm not sure. And it was released about 2009, and then 2000, and the second volume was released in 2010. So right now I'm going to play the introduction of the Barbara Stanwyck show. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about the actress, not in full detail because she had a marvelous career. So I'll do my best. So here is the introduction of the Barbara Stanwyck show. Thank you, everyone.
Tonight, from Hollywood, the Barbara Stanwyck Show. Brought to you by Your Gas Company, with gas pipeline and equipment companies all over America who help you and your family live modern for less with gas.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of the Barbara Stanwyck show. I'll talk a little bit about Barbara Stanwyck. She was born in July 16th, 1907 in Brooklyn. Her real name was Ruby Catherine Stevens. She began acting, let's see, I don't know if she did silent movies. Maybe she did, but let's see. But one of her famous talkies was Ladies of Leisure, Night Nurse, Babyface, and the controversial The Bitter Tea of General Yen. That was controversial. But in 1937, she played the title role of Stella Dallas, and that earned her first Oscar nomination. I've seen the movie a few times. She was great in that. And she starred in a couple of comedies, Ball of Fire with Gary Cooper and The Lady Eve with Henry Fonda. Oh, they're great. Lady Eve is great comedy like that. Other movies, Meet John Doe, You Belong to Me, and also one of her famous roles, well, I'll get to the other one, is Double Indemnity with Fred MacMurray. Oh my God, she was something. And then let's see, she was also in The Strange Love of Martha Ivers. She was a great movie in that. Also, The Sorry Wrong Number. She was great on that. But one of my favorite roles of all time is The Christmas in Connecticut. I watch this movie every year. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, and she was excellent. It is hilarious. It's a nice feel-good movie. It really is, and I look forward every day. I have it on Blu-ray. You can watch it on TCM if you like, but I watch it when it's during the Christmas season. I've been watching it once. I should watch it twice, like that. And then one movie in the 50s she did was Executive Suite, and then she moved to television. Then starred, of course, the Barbara Stanwyck show. And then she had the lead in the TV Western, The Big Valley, and also starred in The Thornbirds, the miniseries. Oh, she was great in that. I love that. I love that miniseries. I watched it when it aired in 1983. Excellent. And then she was cast in The Colbys, the spinoff of Dynasty. Only ran for 2 years. I loved the show. I really did. And I know it's a copy of Dynasty. That doesn't matter. But she was only there for one season, and then she quit. She didn't like the scripts, but she was excellent in it. And, it started with Charlton Heston, and Stephanie Beacham, and, of course, Catherine Ross, like that. And I don't think she acted much after that. Maybe a little bit. Not really. But then she passed away on January 20th, 1990. She was 82 years old. So she was a model. She was an actress. She was a dancer. She did it all. She was married twice. First to Frank Fay. I think he was a vaudeville comedian. And then her second marriage was to actor Robert Taylor, very famous movie actor. Oh, he was a good actor. I liked him. Okay. All right. So next up, from the 1970s, I will talk about something very obscure that went into TV oblivion, and it is the animated series Dr. Dolittle. It was also known as the Further Adventures of Dr. Dolittle, and this is based on the movie and the musical on Broadway, I believe. And this was based on a book. The author's name was Hugh Lofting. And also the film from 1967, which starred Rex Harrison. Oh, I love that movie. And also Eddie Murphy played him later on. That one's funny. And this cartoon premiered on September 12th, 1970, and ended in September 2nd, 1971 on NBC. It was produced by the Patty Frayling Company. They were responsible of the Pink Panther, also Inspector Clouseau, and of course the Ant and the Aardvark, which I talked about last episode. Okay. And Dr. Dolittle, it's centered about Dr. Dolittle. He was an animal doctor, and he had the ability to talk to animals. Okay. And the most famous song, of course, is "Talk to the Animals." You can't get the song out of your head. And the premise of the show was Dr. Dolittle traveled around the world. He had on a ship. It was called the Flounder. And he was helping animals. If they're sick, he would take care of them. He had a young first mate, a sailor. His name was Tommy Stubbins. And they also had, the crew was consisted of animals. And then whenever the ship was sailing, there was another submarine, and that was called the Submar. And that was the stronghold of Sam Scurvy and his pirate crew. Like that. The pirate crew was a branch of the Democratic Order of Pirates International, Dopey. So they were at odds at all time, like that. I remember this show briefly. I remember I was about maybe 6 or 7, and I saw it on TV, and I was fascinated by it. I really was, and then it just disappeared. I never saw it ever again. So here's the characters, the list of characters on the show. That we had Dr. Dolittle. It was voiced by actor Bob Holt, and he did an English accent. Also, Tommy Stubbins was voiced by Hal Smith, actor that is in an English accent. You may know him as Otis the Drunk from the Andy Griffith Show. Then there was Chi-Chi, Dab-Dab. Chi-Chi was the monkey. Dab-Dab was the duck. He was the cook. There was Polynesia, the parrot. And there was a llama called, his name was Pushmi Puliu. Then you have an owl, Tutu. And then they have a dog. His name is Chip. Also, there was a rock group called George and the Grasshoppers. And they would just pop in and they would perform and sing. And this was controversial. They would just take some bottle of pills and medicines. They would take that, and then it became all psychedelic. And you know what that means? It's like LSD, like that. And then the list of characters for the Dopey was Sam Scurvy. He was the leader of the pirates, and so he wanted to learn how to talk to the animals so he could take over the world, just like any villain like that. And the rest of the pilots was Cyclops. He had one eye. He had an eye patch. Zigzag. He was a French pirate. Nico, an Italian pirate, and Miko, a Chinese pirate. So this, like I said, this show ran for 17 episodes. It was never shown on syndication because of it was kind of politically incorrect, and also implications of drugs, like that. I can understand that, but it is available on DVD in Germany. So if you want to buy it or do a search, maybe on eBay, if you'd like to buy it, I like to buy it too, just for curiosity's sake. Why not? So it'd be fun to watch. That is. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song for Dr. Dolittle, the animated series. Oh, it's kind of catchy tune. And when I come back, talk about a little bit more about the movie that started in 1967. Okay, well, sit back and enjoy. Thank you, everyone.
I love to talk to the animals. It's incredible chatting with a chimp in chimpanzee. To sit and natter with a tiger, chatter with a cheetah. That's a neat achievement, you'll agree. If I could talk to the animals, learn their languages, I would be the greatest man on earth. If I could only find a teacher, I would reach each creepy creature, then think what Scurvy's empire would be worth. I can converse in polar bear and python. Yeah, he can curse in fluent kangaroo. If people ask me, can you speak rhinoceros? I say, of course, and do. If I controlled our four-legged friends and all the universe, what a wicked place the world would be. Until then, only Dolittle talks with the animals. He grunts and he squeaks and he squawks with those animals. And they can talk to me.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to Dr. Dolittle, the animated series. Let me talk about the movie. I want to clarify something. It was not on Broadway or a stage. It was based on a film and also based on of a book. So in 1967, it was a musical comedy film. It was a big hit. And it starred Rex Harrison. He was Dr. Dolittle. He was marvelous in that role. I liked him. Also, it was Samantha Eggar, Anthony Newley, and Richard Attenborough. I haven't seen this movie in a long, long time. I should start watching it again. If it's on, I'll record it. Because it's fun. And the animals were talking. With that. And so it was a big hit like that. And then, of course, they did a few remakes in 1998. Dr. Dolittle would starred Eddie Murphy, but he had the ability to talk, and it was funny. It was a funny movie. You know what? I've seen parts of the movie, and I got to watch the whole thing again because I heard it was wonderful. Because Eddie Murphy, he cannot do wrong. He's a talented comedian. You just look at him, you just laugh. That's how he is. So I intend to watch it again. Both movies, that is. Okay. All right, next up, we got Bosom Buddies. This is sort of not oblivious, but you don't see this show much on syndication, but it's very well remembered. So let's get started. This show premiered on November 27, 1980, ended March 27, 1982. It premiered on ABC. It was a sitcom, went for 2 seasons, 37 episodes, and it starred Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari. And they're from the same people that produced Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, you name it, came from the same factory. And this sort of made Tom Hanks famous. Not super famous now, but, well, he's been super famous for a while, but this sort of put him on a pedestal. And also made Peter Scolari famous as well. The show started with good ratings, but it kept changing the time slot, and then it went off the air. So the plot was, I think if you remember watching the show, they were sleeping in their apartment, and it got demolished. So they had to find a place to live. So the only apartment that was available was at the Susan B. Anthony Hotel, which is only for females. So what do you think those guys did? They dressed in drag just to get a place to sleep, and they did, and that was part of the plot. It was hilarious when they were women. Also in the cast was Sonny Lumet, that was played by Donna Dixon. She's best known as Dan Aykroyd's wife. I think they've split up, and then they have their they both worked at an advertising agency. They had Amy Cassidy, that's played by Wendy Jo Sperber. I talked about Babes. She starred in that in a previous podcast episode. And the hotel manager, that was it was Darlene, and she was played by Edie Adams, but she was only in the pilot, and then she was replaced. And when the pilot was sold to ABC, it was actress Lucille Benson. A lot of people remember her from the movie Duel. I just watched that yesterday. She's the one that ran she had the snakes and like that, and then the truck ran over it, and she freaked out. It was that was terrifying. That movie's still scary. And in the first season, they worked for Ruth Dunbar. That's played by Holland Taylor. You may know her from 2.5 Men. And let's see. So it's changed everything like that. And then the second season, Lucille Benson, actress that is, Lily Sinclair, the hotel manager, she was dropped. And then they brought in Thelma Hopkins, best known as from Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. And she sang during the show, and she's a wonderful singer. She's also best known as... I forget her name, from Give Me a Break. She played Nell Carter's friend, and they were like Laverne and Shirley, that type. They were hilarious together. And so Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari, let's see, Tom Hanks' character was Kip Wilson, but when he was in drag, her name was Buffy, and Peter Scolari was Henry Desmond. And when he was in drag, his name was Hildegard. So, and in the second season, they were revealed. And then they sort of dropped the drag plot as time went on. So that's fine. I used to watch a show when I was in high school. And then I went to college, and I saw it a few times. It was funny. I liked it, like that. And like I said before, it made Tom Hanks famous. I know he appeared on an episode of Happy Days. I remember he appeared on an episode of The Love Boat. He did that. And it was released on DVD a long time ago. The original theme song, when you buy the DVD, My Life is not on it. It was replaced by Shake Me Loose, and that was gone. Like that. And I think Stephanie Mills performed a song like that. I don't know why. I think it's some music rights. It's kind of weird like that. Anyway, so I'm going to play the theme song for Bosom Buddies. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Peter Scolari. And he had an interesting career, as well as Tom Hanks. So sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone. Keep it to yourself. It's my life. Keep it to yourself. It's my life.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of Bosom Buddies. Before I get started on Peter Scolari, let me explain a little further about the theme song. I apologize for that. It's My Life by Billy Joel, but Billy Joel did not sing on the program. It's a re-recorded version, and the vocalist, his name was Gary Bennett, and on the piano is Mike Lucas. And also some of the vocal versions, and it was a song called Shake Me Loose, and was performed by Stephanie Mills, replacing My Life. It's like music rights, I guess. That's weird. And then, it aired on reruns for a bit, and then it, when Tom Hanks became a big hit in the movies like Splash and Bachelor Party, terrible movie. It's dumb, but it's fun to watch anyway. But there was, it had great ratings, but it aired on NBC, not ABC. But there was no way Tom Hanks would return to the role. No. Would not do that. Wait. All right, so I'll talk about Peter Scolari a bit. Now, Peter Scolari was born September 12, 1955, in New Rochelle, New York. And he started in television he started in another short-lived sitcom from the same company that does Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, is the Good Time Girls. Someday I'll talk about that show. And that was a good show. I like that. But that was set in the 40s, whereas Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley were set in the 50s. And then after Bosom Buddies was canceled in 1982, he joined the cast of Newhart in 1984. He played Michael Harris, and he was a TV producer. And he stayed till the end, and he was great in that show. It was wonderful. It was funny. He was Julia Duffy's boyfriend, and then I think they got married after that. And he played other roles, and also he did the TV adapt version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He did that. And one of the last roles he did was he was in Gotham and he played a police commissioner, Gillian B. Loeb. Yeah, he was a nasty guy. Ooh, nasty. He also was in Broadway, yeah, and like that. And let's see, and he was also a juggler, a very good juggler. And I remember he was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and he performed the juggling. Oh, he was great, and like that. And unfortunately, he died October 22nd, 2021, at the age of 66. He had leukemia. Well, that's a shame. So, and he did some movies, not too many like that. And that was not his earliest roles. He was in Angie, which I talked about the last podcast episode that starred Donna Pescow. He appeared on one episode. As for his juggling, he appeared on Circus with the Stars. Yeah, he did that. That's great. Like that. Okay. Next up, we talk about the new Adam-12. It was Adam-12, but it's the new Adam-12. Now, this show is sort of a reboot of the Adam-12 that aired on NBC from 1968 to 1975. But this one ran 2 seasons. So here we go. So this aired in syndication. It's premiered September 20th, 1990, ended 1991, September 16th. It had a cast not very familiar, but I'll read it off. So it was just like the old Adam-12, which I enjoyed very much. That's a great show. And, from the Jack Webb production, like from the Dragnet and Emergency. And because they did a new Dragnet, too, also. And this starred Ethan Wayne as Officer Matt Dole. He was John Wayne's son. Also, Peter Peros as Officer Gus Grant. Also, Miguel Fernandez as Sergeant Harry Santos. Lyndon Ashby as Officer Honeycutt. If you're a Melrose Place fan, you may remember him from there. He did soap operas. I think he was in a few soap operas. Also, Alma Martinez as Sergeant Elizabeth Cruz, and Harry James as Officer Neville. Not Harry James, the trumpeter. The funny thing is, Martin Milner and Kent McCord, who played in the original one, made appearances on the show, only in the first season. Only the first one. And I remember watching the show. I don't remember what channel it was on in Chicago. Maybe Channel 50. Maybe. I don't know. It was okay. It was a good show. Like that. And I haven't seen it lately. It's another show that went into TV oblivion. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song of the new Adam-12. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit more about Ethan Wayne. Okay, so sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the introduction of the new Adam-12. Let me talk about Ethan Wayne. He's, of course, I mentioned he is the son of John Wayne. He was born John Ethan Morrison. That's his birth name. But he went professional as Ethan Wayne. And Ethan came from the role, John Wayne's character in the movie The Searchers, Ethan Edwards, if you watched the movie. And he appeared in a few shows. He also appeared in the Blues Brothers. If you see him, try to locate him like that. And let's see what else. When I first watched him as Storm Logan when the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful premiered in 1987, or is it 1986? No, 1987. I started watching the show, and there he was, and he was great in that show. It was wonderful. And, well, his mother was Pilar Pellet. That's John Wayne's third wife, like that. And right now he manages John Wayne Enterprises. And he serves as the director of the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. So that's pretty nice, like that. Other film roles in film, he appeared Rio Lobo, but he was on. He was there, but you didn't see him. That started in 1970. And well, in the Blues Brothers, he was a stuntman, so he was there. And he did appear on television. One of his first roles was the BJ and the Bear. He also appeared on, of course, game shows, the new $25,000 Pyramid. That must have been during the time of The Bold and the Beautiful, like that. So he doesn't appear like that. Now, when the new To Tell the Truth appeared, the revival with Anthony Anderson, he appeared as a contestant. And I think I remember this episode, like, who was John Wayne's son? And I recognized him immediately. Oh, yeah, but I was watching with my mom, and she didn't know. And I didn't reveal it. I let her guess. And there he was. He looked great. He really did. Okay. Okay, right now I will talk about now we go to the 2000s, and the next show I will talk about is Cursed, and it's a sitcom that starred Steven Weber. And this premiered on October 26, 2000, ended on April 26, 2001. It was on NBC. It was a half-hour show, one season, 14 episodes, 2 unaired, of course. So, like I mentioned before, it stars Steven Weber. And this was an unusual show. Steven Weber played a guy, and he was cursed by an ex-girlfriend, and he was encountered by bad luck all through the show. This reminds me of, there was a character on F Troop that made appearesces, is played by Henry Gibson. His name was Rongo Starr, and he was a jinx. So that sort of remind me of that. And so in the cast we had Steven Weber, who played Jack Nagel, Amy Peets as Melissa Taylor, also Chris Elliott, oh funny man, as Larry Heckman. Wendell Pierce as Wendell Smith, and also Paula Marshall as Katie. I remember watching this show when it aired. It was funny, because Steven Weber he's hilarious. He's very talented. I like him. I liked him in Wings. I used to watch Wings when it aired. I watched the reruns. I haven't watched it anymore. I got to buy the DVD because it's a great show. It's funny with Tim Daly, his brothers. They're always at odds. Like that. And okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song of Cursed. Before I play this, it was later renamed The Weber Show, and then they dropped the Cursed theme, so that was gone. So the theme song is called Misfortune, performed by Liz Phair. She's a singer. She's from Chicago, a very talented singer. When I come back, I will talk about Steven Weber. Okay, so sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Misfortune and I've got a hot thing going on. Every night I've got a date with disaster. It always seems looks like the rain keeps falling, and the traffic's stalling in front of me. Misfortune says I'm superstitious, but why else is all of this happening to me? Oops. Oh, I screwed it up.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction, of Cursed. As for Steven Weber, like I said, he's a talented man, actor, that is. And I'll give you a little bio about him. He was born Stephen Robert Weber on March 4th, 1961 in New York City. And let's see. So he started in a lot of TV shows, lots and lots of TV shows. He started in Once and Again, the TV miniseries The Shining, the TV. He did the Jack Nicholson part. I didn't see it. So like that. But he was also he appeared in soap operas as The World Turns. He did a lot of miniseries. He was also in movies. The miniseries, he was the Kennedys of Massachusetts. He played John F. Kennedy. Movies, he played the Flamingo Kid. I saw it in the theater. I don't remember seeing him there. Oh, I don't know. And he's best known for Wings as Brian Hackett. So, and also he starred, another TV show called The DA. I remember this show. I really do. Other films he appeared was Single White Female and Jeffrey. He did that as well. And let's see, what other movies he appeared? Hamburger Hill, The Temp. Yeah, I remember that. That was at Lara Flynn Boyle, I think. Leaving Las Vegas, he was there. Dracula Dead and Loving It. He was funny in that. He played Jonathan Harker, like the character in Dracula. And let's see what else. As for television, he was in Tales from the Crypt. He was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The Outer Limits. The not the original, but the one from the 90s, and like that. So he very versatile guy, very versatile indeed, and he's still acting to this day, which is great. But I love him in Wings. It's one of his famous roles, and it's a very funny show. It really is. Okay, last show I'm going to talk about now is from the 2010s is Chase, and that is a TV crime drama. And this premiered on NBC September 20th, 2010, ended at May 21st, 2011. And this was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. It only ran for 18 episodes for one season. And this revolved a U.S. deputy marshal, and her character's name was Annie Frost, and that was played by Kelly Giddish. And let's see what. So they that's basically it. They were just had plots. They were just trying to chase the bad guys and all that. It didn't do well in the ratings. It did not. So I'm going to read the cast members who were in the show. We had an actress, Kelly Giddish, and she played Annie Nolan Frost. We have actor Cole Hauser. He was in a lot of roles, a lot of TV roles. Jimmy Godfrey, that's his character's name. Amory Garrido as Marco Martinez. Rose Rollins as Daisy Ogoba. She was only there until episode 16. And Jesse Metcalf as Luke Watson. You may know him as John Rowland from Desperate Housewives. He was in the show like that. So I guess he was in Desperate Housewives, and then he just left like that. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the series TV premiere. And this is a promo of the show. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Jesse Metcalf. Okay, so sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
I'm Annie Frost, U.S. Marshals. I'm looking for the man who hurt your family. I'm gonna catch him so you can sleep at night instead of wondering.
If you're one of the nation's most violent fugitives,
Mason Boyle, 26-year-old in Odessa, Texas.
He's the most wanted 15.
Sooner or later, you're gonna meet Annie.
I got him!
From Jerry Bruckheimer.
Let's shake some trees. Well, who's ready to go hunting?
Chase, a new series Mondays this fall on NBC.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the promo for the series premiere of Chase. I talk a little bit about Jesse Metcalf. He was born in Carmel Village, California on December 9, 1978. One of his first famous roles was not Desperate Housewives. It was in the soap opera Passions, and he played Miguel Lopez Fitzgerald. I remember watching him on that. He was great in that. Of course, later on, he became more famous as John Rowland on Desperate Housewives. And then he became, when Dallas, the soap opera, was revived, he portrayed Christopher Ewing, Bobby Ewing's son, by Patrick Duffy. He was great in that. He was good in that show. He's still acting to this day. One of his earliest film roles was John Tucker Must Die, and he played John Tucker. That was released in 2006. And so, he's a very charismatic guy. And I remember him from Dancing with the Stars, and he was good in that. It really was. Okay. So, folks, that's the end of the show. I spoke too much, but, we had a long list. So I will do a recap of what I discussed today. So here's the lineup again. So from the 1950s, we have the television sitcom Beulah. From the 1960s, we have the TV anthology series, The Barbara Stanwyck Show. From 1970s, we have the anime series Dr. Dolittle. From the 1980s, we have the television sitcom Bosom Buddies. From the 1990s, we have the TV crime drama The New Adam-12. From the 2000s, the TV sitcom Cursed. And from the 2010s, we have the police drama Chase. Okay. This podcast will be published this afternoon, and it'll be available wherever podcasts are. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Also, it'll be on my YouTube channel, TV Oblivion, the podcast. You can do a search, and it'll be there, and I'll share it on my social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter. I have a group, TV Oblivion, also a page. Okay, so I will do another podcast episode on probably this weekend. And it'll be episode 33. Okay. So this is Pete Costanza, your host of TV Oblivion, where shows are rarely syndicated and fall into TV Oblivion and never be heard again. So here's the pick and pluck song that will end the show. And so everyone have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.